Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Complete Sports Media's podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and we're doing a special nighttime edition tonight as a way to fit in Jason Cameron, who he could join us, and we could break down a few sports that are happening pretty fast and furious these days. So, yeah, we're excited to have Jason into the mix. Thanks a lot for joining us today, Jason.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Nice. So there's a few very important topics on the go right now, and I'd really like to get into a few of the topics that are happening in the basketball world. Today's the Mamba Day, 8/24 being that. So he's Kobe Bryant's being recognized around the NBA and remembered for the legacy that he left. And yeah, it's kind of great that this becomes a day that we can remember the Mamba.
Yeah, man, it's a day to remember one of the greatest basketball players to lace them up. A man that tailored his game after the great Michael Jordan, and he tailored it well. Hall of Famer, first ballot, and just a man that had all the talent, God-given talent in the world, and in his own words said, but always tried to earn his spot, felt like he was the 12th man on the squad, and always felt that he had to earn the right to be on the court. That was his real Mamba mentality that he incorporated, and that's what got him through to be the best that he could possibly be with the talent inherent in him.
I was always impressed with his ability was God-given. He was born into an NBA family, but man, did he ever continue to work to become one of the greatest of all time. I really like watching and hearing from Shaquille O'Neal, because Shaq and him ended up playing together and had a little brother, big brother kind of relationship that had some friction between it. But when Kobe passed away, I think Shaq seems to be one of the guys that have taken it the hardest. He said he really wished that he would have been able to talk to Kobe on a daily basis and just put that petty stuff aside. And he always really talks so highly of a guy who they actually had quite a feud for a few years there. And it's really nice that Shaq recognizes Kobe's greatness and constantly talks about it and how great of a guy he was.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate when you realize what you should have done while the man was still alive, and then having that regret once the man has passed away. But it's so is life. That's the way that life goes. And so I appreciate the fact, I think we all do, that Shaq is honoring Kobe's memory by making sure that his family's good, which I'm sure they are, but also too with him saying the words that he will ensure the fact that his family is always going to be good is a big feather in his cap, honoring the man that he was, Kobe Bryant. Yeah. And so, and also too, just what Kobe was potentially going to do going forward after he retired. That was the thing I was really looking forward to, because, like, he'd already won an Oscar. The man won an Oscar. What are you talking about? You won an Oscar? Like just these things that you got to see more of who the human being was behind the basketball. And it's a shame that we didn't get to see more of that. Yeah. He was taken from us too soon, along with his beautiful daughter.
Yeah, it was a tragedy, and it's going to take a lifetime for his friends and family to get over that. But I'm glad that the NBA made a special day for him, and he's been recognized today by a lot of the NBA players. And it's a very fitting tribute to legend and Hall of Famer and all around great guy. The other thing that's top of news today is the shooting of another young black man in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Jacob Blake was shot 7 times and is in critical condition. And sorry, I'm getting emotional, but I know you and I talked about George Floyd and hoping that it would stop But it's it's still happening, and so many of the NBA players have talked about this today and saying that it's something we still have to work on. And yeah, I'm really heartbroken that this continues to go on in these inner cities.
Yeah, I know it's a tragedy, but you know what? It's a tragedy that at least we're all trying to face together, and it's something that we're working on trying to fix. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a lot of effort on a lot of people's part to try to fix this, to try to make this right. I'm just glad to hear that the young man is still trying to fight for his life, and hopefully he doesn't lose it over this. Because those cops definitely tried to end it today. They did. And I hope that the young man can pull through. But this also just puts on the emphasis of the problem inherent within our society. The problem that some, like the people that are supposed to protect us the most protect some more than others. And that has to stop. And that will stop as long as we keep working towards the goal of having equality for all. Eventually we will get there, but we still have a long road to go, clearly.
Yeah, we sure do. Yeah, I feel I feel extra sad today, and I have heard a lot of NBA players when they've been interviewed today. They've said Jacob Blake's name right off the top, and they're all a lot of them were concerned about having to go into the bubble and not being able to voice the Black Lives Matter concerns that they had and be able to constantly keep up the protests and stuff like that. There is a new wave of protests I see in many cities. They have been imposing some curfews and things like that. But yeah, I'm glad that the NBA players are voicing their concerns and their opposition to all this. And I'm hoping that this can finally put behind us, and we can all get along and live as a society as one. It's just gone on way too long, and I had hoped that we weren't going to see this for a really long time, but it just really upsets me today for sure.
Yeah, we have to keep the faith, and we have to keep working towards unity, as opposed to being separate and opposed to one another. We have to come together on this, and we will. It's just, as I said before, it's going to take time and effort on everybody's part. But with that being said, then there's going to be hope on the horizon. It's there. We just have to reach it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, well said. Okay, well, why don't we discuss some basketball? This is day 8. You and I broke down how the playoffs were going to look, in our opinion, and we've been very accurate in many regards. The East has, just looked super dominant. The teams that were supposed to win are all doing that. We got both Toronto and Boston swept out their opponents, and now they're going to face each other. Milwaukee had the hiccup in the first game against Orlando, but they took the third game today, and they're looking strong. And then Miami knocked off Indy in a sweep today as well. So definitely going according to plan. Looks like Miami, Milwaukee, Toronto, Boston. Very amazing performances by all those teams. Really looking forward to the matchups. Toronto, Boston should be a really fun series, and Boston's looking really strong. They've got such a deep team, like we've mentioned. Toronto, unfortunately, Kyle Lowry got hurt, but they don't start that series till Thursday, so hopefully he can come back strong. What are your thoughts about coming into that second round series?
Okay. All right. So first off, yes, Kyle Lowry does have an injury to his ankle, but I'm rather heartened by the fact that if you look at their regular season with Kyle Lowry, I believe the record is like 41-12. Without Kyle Lowry, it's 12-2. They're gonna be fine.
Nice.
Yes, they are missing their captain. They're missing their go-to, their spark plug, their heart. But that heart will be back. Like as soon as he's ready to go, the man's gonna go. Yeah. But there's no need to hit a panic button right now, because if there's one thing that Toronto Raptors are used to throughout this regular season is dealing with adversity and working through it. And they are used to playing without all the pieces to the puzzle, so to speak. And you know what, Boston's in for one heck of a series. They are going. It is going to be. That's going to be a 6 or 7 game series. And I'm going to be honest. I would like the Raptors to win. I don't know if they will. I don't know who's going to win this series. This is going to be one heck of a series to watch. And if Lowry I'm going to be honest, I think Lowry might have to miss the first 1, 2, or 3 games with that said injury. But once he comes back, you know what? We'll see. I think the first 2 games are probably going to be a split, and then after that, it's going to be a dogfight. It's going to be one heck of a series to watch, because you got up and coming superstars on both sides with Pascal Siakam and Jason Tatum, and then Jaylen Brown. It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be good. I am super looking forward to it. Each of them are defensively responsible, you know, and you got young stars all over the damn place. So it's gonna be a great game. Great series.
Yeah, great series. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm glad that the Raptors get a little bit of a rest and get into it. It'll be nice to see Kyle back. Hopefully he doesn't miss much, but yeah, as you say, a good point there. The Toronto has looked strong without him. Super deep team as well. Both teams are incredibly deep and got a lot to offer. So yeah, I think it's going to be a long series and should be really fun. So hopefully Canada starts getting swept up in basketball fever again, like last year. So then we've got Miami facing Milwaukee. I'm sure Milwaukee's going to be able to take Orlando out very soon after their next game, probably. I think that series is also going to be really spectacular. We've talked about the depth of Miami. Bam Adebayo had set a record this year. He was the youngest player in NBA history to average 15 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, 5 plus assists, and hit 50% of his field goals in the season at 23 years old. What an amazing piece in the middle. They got Jimmy Butler. They got Goran Dragic. They even did it without Kendrick Nunn, who's been hurt. He played a little bit today, but man, that team's looking great. And Milwaukee had a little stumble. I think they've got it together. Middleton looks like he's good. That series is shaping up to be fantastic.
Yeah, man. You got the Heat that just spread the floor with a bunch of shooters. They can gun from anywhere. And the matchup that I'm most looking forward to, that I can't wait to see, is Bam versus Giannis in the middle. So 2 of them giants going at it. It's going to be something very, very special. It's going to be something good. Bam is definitely going to have to elevate his game, because he's going up against the league MVP. All right. And I think he has it within him to elevate his game. He's going to be pushed a great deal by Giannis. And I'm just super looking forward to this series. I'm looking forward to this series. I think the Bucks have an advantage, so to speak, with said MVP, but the Heat is no joke, and they are not going to be an easy out whatsoever. You know, because like I said, they can spread the floor, and they got shooters all over the place.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very, very good series.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's going to be super fun. And yeah, even these first rounds, weren't much matchups, and we didn't expect them to be. But the second round coming in, wow, it's going to be incredible series on both sides, and I'm excited for the East. Turning to the West, we expected a lot of dogfights, and yeah, it's ringing true. The Lakers are having all sorts of trouble with Portland in the early stages. Today they're up by 20 as we're going towards the half, it looks like. But yeah, we thought they would have some trouble with Portland, and they have. But it looks like the Lakers are probably going to prevail. Yeah, how have you enjoyed this series?
I've loved the series, but the Lakers have now kind of been demonstrating who they actually are. You know, once the role players started going, and then also too, once King James said, "Well, I guess I'm gonna have to put the team on my back and win." Like once King James put his foot down, it's like, oh, yeah, this is not going to be very easy anymore. You know, like, and also too, it's unfortunate, but to a certain extent, the Portland Trailblazers are still a shooting team. All right, and so if the shots don't fall for those guys, then all of a sudden they get down very, very quickly. You know what I mean? Very, very quickly. I think Portland still has a shot. Doesn't look very good for the rest of this game, unfortunately, unless Dame or CJ get hot, which they could in a minute. So we shall see how the rest of that game plays out. But I think if the Lakers win, they'll be up 3-1, right?
Yeah, that's right.
They'll be
Yeah.
up 3-1. So, you know, I still say Portland could still win another game if that does actually happen. But I don't know, man. Down 3-1. It doesn't look good for Portland. Doesn't look good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I thought Portland would, really, give them a big run for their money. And I thought, they had a really good chance at the upset. But you're right. King James has still got it. 35 years old and, looking as strong as ever and takes over games. Some of these games he's just been amazingly dominant, just triple-double and just putting the team on his back and willing them to win. I'm just amazingly impressed by him. Do you remember a couple of years ago when he was with the Cavaliers and Saturday Night Live did a sketch on the rest of the teammates that LeBron had in Cleveland? Do you remember they had a Roomba, they had a dog, they had a bunch of ragtag people they found? Do you remember that skit? It was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, man. It basically it's LeBron and a bunch of whatever, and it's like, so clearly the man can win with whatever you give him. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a baby, could be 4 babies of LeBron. Yeah, he's still gonna win. He's still gonna win, man. That skit was hilarious.
Yeah, no, I recommend our viewers and listeners to find that online. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. There was one great skit that Saturday Night Live put together. So, yeah. So, it looks like LA's up 76-49 last minute of the first half. So, it looks like they'll be up 3-1 and probably be able to close out the series in the next few games. The other series between one of the front runners to win the title is the Clippers and Dallas. And man, Luka Doncic even outdid himself yesterday. What an incredible performance. One of the best games I've ever seen from any human being on a basketball court. 21 years old. Yesterday he had 43 points, 17 rebounds, 13 assists. He was doing it on a sprained ankle even. And without the unicorn, Kristaps Porzingis, he won it on a buzzer beater, 135-133. Epic performance, hands down the best performance we've seen in the bubble. And man, this guy is giving Dallas a real legitimate shot at the Clippers, who are one of the heavy favorites to win this whole title.
How is this happening? I keep thinking to myself, how is he doing this? He's 21. Not supposed to be doing this at 21. You're not supposed to be in MVP talks at 21. You're not supposed to be this savvy or accomplished at 21. You're not supposed to rip the Clippers defense, which is touted as the best defense in the league, at 21. You shouldn't be doing any of this stuff, but he is. He's doing all of it. He's doing all of it. And then he can also say, yeah, I had a bad wheel. Still dropped 43. Hopefully I get better. Hopefully I can amp that up. What? Now my question is, what is his ceiling? Does he have a ceiling? Is he just going to be like, well, Luka dropped 54 again. I think he's averaging 50 for the season. I don't know what it is anymore. The kid is amazing. That's what I basically want to say. The kid's amazing. He put the team on his back, said, follow me. I got it. And that's what he did. He had it, man. Even that was a step back 3 from 3 feet behind the line. Game winner. That's Dame Lillard stuff. That's Dame time. Yep. No, sorry. That's Luka time now. It's Luka time. Yeah. And I just got to tell you, I am super impressed. I cannot believe how good this kid is already. And it's just amazing to me that he did it, knowing that he didn't have his second star with him. And he just said, I'm good. Doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's just amazing. And if I'm the Clippers, I'll be like, we could be in trouble here, boys. this
Yeah.
this is not going the way that it was supposed to go. We're not supposed to be tied 2-2 right now. That was not the plan. So, you know what? I think it might be a must-win for the Clippers going into Game 5 for them.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's a must-win.
Kawhi Leonard's playing as good as he did last season. He's just playing at an MVP clip. Two-time MVP of the playoffs and champion. Phenomenal player. But Paul George is struggling mightily, and he was their other big acquisition in the offseason. I'm not sure what's wrong with PG3, but yeah, what have you noticed? He seems to be just off. He's not shooting very well at all.
He's icing his shoulder, and I think that's the same shoulder that he had surgery on, I believe. And so he could be injured. He could be playing hurt and not saying anything about it. But also, too, unfortunately, with Paul George's history, he has a history of just kind of disappearing in big playoff games. He can have 30, or he can have, as Ryan Russillo says, he can have 30 or 13. You can have 30 or 13. And you're not surprised if he has these or 30 or 13, which is very true. He will explode at some point in time in this series. Don't know when, but it will happen. But if the shoulder is really dragging him down, then we might see poor shooting from him for the rest of the series. Just don't know how injured that shoulder is, or how tight it is, or whatever's going on with it. But I know he's been icing that shoulder a lot more lately. So he's definitely being affected by that. Also, too, I just wanted to point to one other thing. On Luka's game-winning 3 with no time left, by the way, they switched him, and Reggie Jackson was on him. Kawhi was actually playing him, and then no, Kawhi, no, buddy, no, you don't switch there. If that's one of those where it's superstar on superstar, man up, and you see what you got. I don't think Kawhi will make that mistake again, or Paul George, or whoever's on him. They're not making that mistake again. Because Reggie Jackson, I'm sorry, buddy, but you can't do that. No.
Yeah,
No.
that was a shock. You'd think, they would have told Kawhi to stick like glue on him and make sure he's not the one that's going to take the shot. And it was an amazing switch. And 3.7 seconds left. They threw it, towards the backcourt. He still dribbled around and then got that opening. I don't know if he would have got that on Kawhi. The claw is, incredible. He blocks a lot of shots. He, forces a lot of turnovers, and he's fantastic defensive player. So you're right. It was a shock that he did that and let Luka have that opportunity.
Yeah, man. Because I'm sorry, man, but Kawhi should know better. You should know that. You should know that. No. Like, even if Reggie wants to do the switch, it's like, get out of here. No, get out. Just beat it. I got it. All right. And then if you lose like that, then you lose with your best defender on the best guy on the other team. Then it's fine. It is what it is. Like, it's already happened once to the Clippers against the Suns with Devin Booker. You're going to have to live with that. That's just something you're just going to have to live with. But next time when that does happen, I'm pretty sure the coach would be like, okay, next time just stick with them. No switching. No switching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that series is great. Tied 2-2. Best 2 out of 3 coming. I'm excited. It's fun to watch. Yesterday was one of the best games I've ever watched. So really great. The other series that we should touch on is Utah's really playing amazing. We talked about the dominance of Luka Doncic, but Donovan Mitchell has just been phenomenal. He's had a couple games with 50 points. He threw up 50 again yesterday. Jamal Murray is doing his best. He threw up 50 as well, and it's the first time 2 guys facing each other in the playoffs have actually even scored over 45 each. But Jamal just doesn't have the same horses, I guess, that Donovan has, and Utah's up 3-1 on that series. A little bit of a surprise. I thought Denver would probably take that series in the end, but Utah's looking great, and Donovan's looking unbelievable.
Donovan Mitchell is playing out of his mind right now. He's playing out of his mind. I think I believe they came up with the stat. There's only 2 other players that have had 50-point games, multiple 50-point games in a series. Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson. That's it. And now it's Donovan Mitchell. Jesus. That means you are getting it done, son. You are getting it done. Like, he is. I look at Donovan Mitchell sometimes, and you know the player that he kind of reminds me of? He is his own player, mind you. But sometimes I see Dwayne Wade in there. I see a little D Wade, and I'm just like, oh man, this kid's gonna be good.
Nice.
I'm just amazed at how these young cats are coming across right now. How good they are right now. You know, like it's just I'm shocked and I'm stunned. And on top of that, again, the Utah are doing it without one of their sharpshooters. They're a sharpshooter. They're doing this without that guy. So what would happen if that guy was there with them right now? Would they just be smashing Denver right now? Would Denver not even have a win? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
shocking, yeah.
It's shocking, and I'm amazed. I'm amazed and I'm impressed. And I'm also impressed with Jamal Murray's his output. He went 9 of 15 from 3. 9 of 15. And he still lost the game.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever,
Yeah.
man. Denver's doing their best to try to hang with Utah, but I think Utah might have their number.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah. Yeah, great to see the Canadian Jamal Murray playing so well, and to be able to, match 50 points, that's incredible. But yeah, it just seems like Donovan Mitchell is just willing that team to win, and missing out on Bogdanovic. Yeah, that was a huge loss, and you and I mentioned it last week that that might be one of the reasons why they can't move forward. But looks like they're going to be able to take the series up 3-1 now. Looks pretty strong for Utah doing it. I watched the Houston OKC game today. Houston, dominated pretty good in those first couple of games, but OKC has clawed back and won the next 2. Houston threw up 58 3-pointers today. That was an NBA record, and it was a crazy game. But OKC ended up winning in the end, and obviously Chris Paul, leading the charge. We got a couple Canadians there, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Lugans Dort. Both guys are playing really, really solid, the Canadian guys. I'm impressed by OKC. We thought Houston missing Russell Westbrook would be tough for them, but when they came out of the gate winning the first 2, I thought, oh, okay, maybe they're not missing him that much, but OKC has been able to tie the series and make it best 2 out of 3 now. It's been exciting to watch this series.
Yeah, man. And also too, Houston's whole small ball theory can work in the playoffs, but at the end of the day, it's live by the 3, die by the 3. If they don't make the 3s, they're not gonna win, and that's it. That's kind of their offense. If they make their 3s, they're just gonna crush a person and run away with it. But if they don't make the 3s, they can't win. They can't win. And also too, it's amazing to me to see just what happens with that team when they hit and then they don't hit. And then all of a sudden, the other team can get right back in the game. They can be down by 20, and then if they start going cold, Houston, then all of a sudden that other team makes a run, they're right back in the game. And that's what you're beginning to see right now. Now, would this be a lot different with Russell Westbrook in the series right now? Yes, I believe it would. It would. But with the fact that he's not in the series right now, you know what? OKC has time to capitalize on this moment right now, which is what they are doing right now. And Chris Paul stepping up huge, showing his veteran leadership, showing the fact that he's an all-star. He's playing great. He's playing really, really well.
Yeah, no, he has been, and yeah, it's a fun series. Great to see. We all knew they'd miss Westbrook like crazy. In the third quarter today, Houston came out firing, hit the first 8 threes in a row, and then they went 5 for 25 down the stretch, and OKC ended up pulling back and making it. They only shot. I think they only shot 10 free throws the whole entire day, so they're kind of relying on James Harden, and all the rest of the guys are just launching bombs, and they're not getting inside. They're not getting anything, in the paint. They're just hoping that they can sink more threes. And yeah, it's an amazing philosophy. I'm amazed that they can continue at it even when they're struggling. But yeah, it's going to be great to see this last 3 games how they play out.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's going to be great to see, because in this game you kind of should see that Harden has made his adjustments to Dort's defense, which you knew that he was eventually going to do. He was going to eventually figure it out. But I got to give credit where credit's due. Dort's defense on Harden has been epic. It's been awesome, because the man's just playing hard, moves his feet well. Like, his defense is superior. It's I don't know if I'd go as far as Bruce Bowen like, but it's really good. And he's demonstrating that maybe offensively he's not quite there yet, but defensively the man's a monster. And so with that just being said right there, he's going to carve out a career in the NBA just from his defensive posture, his stance right there.
Yeah, no, it's great to see the Canadian playing so fantastic defensively. Let's hope in the offseason he develops an offensive game so he can be super well rounded and he's not off the court in offensive situations. But yeah, wow, super impressive. One of the best defenders to emerge recently that I've seen. And yeah, it's nice he's Canadian and they've got 2 great Canadians on that team. And yeah, that team's got a meteoric rise ahead of them. I really believe it, and I'm impressed with so much of what they did. Usually when teams get knocked out of the playoffs, there are some coaching casualties, and we saw one today. Brett Brown was fired by the 76ers, and Philly has been trying to assemble this team for a while. They fell on some hard times and we're getting some top draft picks, number 1 overall. And they said, trust this process. We're going to finally put this together and be an elite team. It hasn't worked out very well. And Brett Brown was the casualty today. Were you surprised?
No, not really. Because Philly's got a lot of things to figure out. They got a lot of things to figure out, which is the Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid experiment. Is it going to go forward, or is it like, you know what, man, we tried. But now what do they do? Which one do they let go? Is it Ben Simmons or is it Joel Embiid? Which one did they let go? They have some hard questions to answer in this offseason going forward with the team, because I think they'll have to go with one or the other. They're going to have to let somebody go. And then also, too, now that, with Brett Brown, he had a certain style of coaching. I think with whatever they decide, whatever superstar they decide to keep, they'll have to get a coach that matches that superstar's play style. And if they can do that, then, I think they'll have success. But again, they'll have to do these hard choices in the offseason on who they want to keep.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. They handed out some really huge contracts to Tobias Harris and Al Horford. And, Harris has been great. Horford, maybe not so much. Both guys make more than $30 million, with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid also making $30 million. 4 guys making $30 million, that eats up your salary cap pretty heavily. And you're right, they're probably going to have to go in one direction or the other. Maybe with Ben Simmons getting hurt, maybe he's the guy that sees the door soon. But yeah, it'll be interesting off season for Philly, and they've been making a lot of moves in the last few years, but it hasn't worked out so far. So we'll see how it shakes down for them. Yeah, well, I'm excited for the second week heading into the NBA playoffs. You and I've been able to watch quite a few games, and I've got it on seems like 24/7 watching games and highlights, and I've sure enjoyed it. Yeah, as we said, that East was pretty easy to handicap and figure out, but that West is super tight, and some amazing series coming down through this week. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, man, it's going to be fantastic. Like, the second round, as good as the first round has been, well, not so much in the East, but in the West, yes. But in the second round, it's going to be even better. It's going to be so much better. Especially the East is going to be better. It's going to be dogfights all over the place. overtimes. Oh man, I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait to see basketball. I can't wait to. I'm sure there might be even some games that might go into 3 overtimes. You heard it here first, folks. 3 overtimes. One of those games in the
Nice.
East, for
Nice.
sure.
Nice. Good. Yeah, good call. I hope that's true. I love when games go that long and that many exciting moments in a game. So I want to mention our partners and sponsors before we move forward. We've got 3 good sponsors that I really want to let everybody know about. Anchor's been a really fantastic partner for Complete Sports Media. They've been really great at posting on multiple podcast platforms. They call themselves the easiest podcast platform there is to make and create your podcasts, and we agree. It's been a fantastic partnership. We want you to go to anchor.fm and see what they offer. Listen to podcasts, create a podcast if you want, and work with them. They've been really fantastic with us. I also want to mention Forever Living. It's the aloe vera company. They grow and manufacture aloe vera based products for health and beauty. We've tried some of the products and we really love them. Jason's also a guy that's tried some of those products and said good things. So thumbs up to Forever Living. And let's keep them as a really great partner. And also we've got Verbero. It is the hockey equipment and apparel company. They're an industry leader in technology, performance, and value. And they are featuring a fantastic stick right now. It's called the Mercury V350. It's the lightest, most balanced stick on the market. It's very explosive and very durable. And at 350 grams, no other hockey company can touch it for the extent of the hockey stick. So thanks to our partners. Really nice to be able to mention them. And go to completesportsmedia.com. There's lots of details there where you can purchase some of these products and try them out and see which ones you like.
But I did want to touch upon one last thing for the NBA, more importantly, the Lakers, is their tribute uniforms that they had for Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba uniforms. Beautiful uniforms, and it's just touching to see that the Lakers have honored Kobe Bryant's memories by having a special uniform designated just for him on Kobe Bryant Day, August 8th and 24th. Beautiful sentiment done by the organization, and I love it. And the jerseys, uniforms are beautiful.
Yeah, no, you're right. They look spectacular. It was an amazing move by the Laker organization, and nice to see those throwbacks on them. They're winning 101-73 with 3 minutes left in the third. So looks like definitely they're going to take a 3-1 lead and probably close out Portland quite soon and move on to the next round. So great breakdown as usual. I really appreciate you coming in and joining me. I know you're busy working and you don't have a ton of free time anymore. So thanks a lot. It was fun to talk about the NBA. It's always a pleasure, and I can't wait to text with you through the week, and let's do this again next week.
You got it, buddy, for sure.
Okay. All the best. Take care of yourself.
Take care.
Okay. Have a nice week.
Yeah.
Okay. I got emotional off the start of of this podcast talking about the basketball, and they're talking about a lot of the NBA players are talking about Jacob Blake. Obviously, George Floyd was a huge talking point for 3 months. It's been 3 months tomorrow that George Floyd was murdered, and all the protests and all the things that have happened in our world since. And now, we've got a new name to add to the, terrible list of young Black people that have been, murdered by the people that are, supposed to be protecting them and protecting us. And the world, sometimes takes a while to change. I've been very excited to see the change that has been made, but obviously we're not all the way there yet. And let's hope that we won't have to talk about this anymore. We hope this is one of the last, things that we ever have to discuss in this matter, and we can move forward and all live as one. Great breakdown of the UFC tonight. Great card. It was a little tough with a lot of the injuries and pullouts and different things that have happened. But look at the difference that people have made in their lives, and some of these amazing performances that we see from veterans like Frankie Edgar. A lot of fun. So enjoy the rest of this basketball week as the first round takes shape, and we start getting the matchups together for the East and the West. East is pretty solidified. The West has still got a lot to figure out, and we'll see how it takes shape. It's been exciting basketball. I hope you're tuning in and watching as much as I am. Raptors are looking great, and have a second round battle against Boston ahead. It's going to be a phenomenal series. It should go really long, and it'll be great. I hope Canada gets swept up in the NBA fever again like last year. There's only one Canadian team left in the NHL, and it's Vancouver. And some people across this country will refuse to cheer for Vancouver. They were villains in 2011. I don't think they've got that same villainous team that the rest of the country's hating. Hope a lot of the Canadians will get on board and cheer for the Canucks and cheer for the Raptors, and let's get both of our last Canadian teams as far as we can in these playoffs, and hopefully we can see another championship north of the border here. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. I always appreciate your time, and take care of yourself, take care of your family, and love you lots. Thanks again to our supporters, sponsors, partners. Go to the website, www.completesportsmedia.com, and support our sponsors that are supporting us. Love you lots. Take care of yourself. Have a great week ahead. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.